Welcome back to Laughing in the Dark, the podcast where I hang out in haunted places with comedians. I'm your host, Sara Jones. For this episode, I spent some time with LA comic Dan Donahue. Dan has performed at the Hollywood Improv and the Laugh Factory. He hosts Crawford's Comedy Show the second Wednesday of every month at Crawford's Pass in Burbank, California. Dan and I visited a location known as the Cobb Estate in Altadena, California. If you'd like, be sure to follow our Instagram with the handle @LitDarkPodcast. That's at LITDARK Podcast for pictures that go along with this episode. Here's the episode. I hope you love it. Been here before?
I've never been here.
Okay, there was like a mansion that was torn down here. Let's see.
I've heard of that.
This is San Merrill Trail. We can probably follow this trail. I have a little flashlight too when it gets darker.
Oh, sweet.
And we should try to sit on the steps of that if we can.
Sounds good.
But yeah, okay, so I met you last year,
towards the end of the year, at the most esteemed comedy / chicken venue.
The best comedy chicken venue, maybe in California.
Maybe in Burbank.
Maybe in the world?
Yeah, maybe in the world. I can't vouch for that, but it seems like it to me.
Definitely the best fried chicken comedy venue I personally have been to.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, so for listeners, we're at the Cobb Estate, which has really pretty trails, kind of in the middle of nowhere. We're a little high up, but fortunately I'm not that scared of heights, so
Me neither.
think we're gonna do just fine.
I think we're gonna be okay.
Yeah, I'm wearing flares though, so it might get caught on something. We'll see what happens.
Wait, like flares like on the side of the road flares? Or?
No, the flare pants I'm wearing.
Oh,
Look.
Okay. I didn't know if you were geared up. I don't know how these sorts of things go.
You didn't see, I came up with flares.
I thought maybe that was like a I found a ghost signaling thing where you like pull some cords and then you spark up and the other people know. We found it finally.
Scared away. No. And that's a big misconception about this show that I'd like to get out ahead of, is that I'm not a ghost hunter.
No, yeah. It would be funny though if because obviously the idea of ghosts and stuff is so sort of like, it's like a very intricate, well not just controversial, it's just like nuanced, like the idea of ghost activity, and it's so like not simple and stuff. But it would be funny if in the middle of the show there was just an actual looked like a bedsheet ghost that you found and you just had to rethink all the nuance of it, like, oh no, they just exist.
Yeah, it actually has been really interesting to hear different people's perceptions of spirits and like paranormal activity.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
What they believe happens after you die, and their experiences of hauntings has been interesting.
Right.
This year I got not one so far, but 2 callers that were haunted by a demon.
Oh, like a kind of religious-esque sort of thing?
Full on, like opposite of an angel, demon, creature, being.
The opposite of it. I feel like that's what they say to kids in like CCD when they're 4 years old. Like, what's the opposite of an angel?
Just think of an angel and everything it's not.
Right.
That's what.
Yeah.
I mean, like big 3-taloned feet demon situation. And I'm just sitting there taking these calls like, yes, oh my God, yes, finally, another demon call. This is what I'm looking for. This is what I want.
This is going to change to the All Demons podcast?
I like the paranormal stuff.
Yeah.
But sometimes people will email in and they'll be like, so I have a story, but it's not really a ghost, it's like a possession. Is that okay?
And you're like, we take all comers.
Of course.
Bring it on.
Yes, all inclusive. Anything terrifying and paranormal that you've experienced.
Yeah.
Except for season 1, I wouldn't take alien stories.
Okay, season 2, we're open to them.
Season 2, I think, you know what? Why not?
Oh, we're going a la carte, baby. Yeah, whatever you want.
You know what? Let's do it.
Yeah.
Just because I think, like, I didn't want to be too open, and I really wanted to like keep my concept tight.
Right.
But if you have an alien story, sure, let's take it.
Next it's gonna be like if a person bothers you and they just look weird enough, you'll just take it. Yeah, all right.
Weird ass looking dude.
He had this thing on his forehead. Say no more.
cut in front of me at the line. He looks fucking weird.
Spooky.
Okay, I don't think we know where we're going.
No, there's supposed to be some sort of a burned down building.
That's exactly what we're looking for.
That is what we're looking for.
Maybe it's up here.
Right.
Wait, is that a building?
It looks small if it is.
Yeah. Well, it's only the foundation that's like left.
That's like the outhouse.
It did look like, I thought it was an outdoor shower.
Yeah. It's funny when you told me like, oh, this is like we look for like sort of places where there's paranormal activity. I thought we were gonna be like a dilapidated building, and there's just like people with dogs running around here. It's very upbeat.
It's very, yeah. Actually, I think this is it, because I think that's the foundation.
Oh, cool. Yeah, yeah.
And I think these are the stone steps.
Nice.
But let's make sure, I guess. You'd think there'd be, oh, there is a sign. Is that a sign? Yep, there's some stone steps too. I think
very cool.
I think we're
nearing something.
We're where we need to be. If it's the Cobb Mansion, I don't know. But it's a good workout.
This is pretty sweet.
You're gonna go back planning your hike with your girlfriend. You're like, you know what? Why don't we just say fuck it, right?
Yeah.
I think I did my hike of the year.
Yeah,
we're done.
We're done. No, well, we have a dog that we have to work out too.
Aww.
So, yeah.
What kind of dog?
It is a lab mix.
Oh, yeah.
I love walking it.
Aw. He or she?
It is a he. His name is Huxley.
Uh-oh, Huxley.
He is beautiful.
Named after Aldous, I imagine.
Yeah, actually, my girlfriend is a huge Aldous Huxley fan.
Nice.
Yeah, and oh my God, she brought him like with her when she moved to LA, and he was already like full-grown dog when I met him. She must be like the most nurturing puppy mom in the world, because this dog is just like pure love.
That's cute.
Pure love. Yeah,
Where
it's
did
awesome.
she move here from?
She moved here from Minneapolis by way of New Orleans.
Oh, okay, wow.
When we were in New Orleans, actually, we went out of our way to go to a supposedly haunted bar. Because New Orleans is like central, yeah.
Voodoo and all kinds of cool
You got to
shit.
do an episode there, yeah.
Oh, I'm
that place is
planning on doing a
crazy.
lot of episodes there.
Yeah.
Okay, so for listeners, this is a winding trail in the Are these mountains? It's just hills.
They're, let's call them a mountain just to make ourselves feel better.
We are climbing a mountain right now.
We're summiting.
We're summiting a mountain, and there may or may not be a haunted mansion at the top. We don't know.
We're looking for it.
We're looking for it. But even if it's there, it's supposed to have been burnt down.
Burnt down.
So it's just the foundation. But holy fuck, I did not plan on it being this far out, honestly. Well, maybe we could take a break and check our sources and make sure we're actually going the right way.
Yeah. Well, it's possible that it is just down there. I doubt that there would be a building this high up. So I'm guessing it was probably somewhere down there.
Let's see, there's like a little bench right there.
Yeah.
And maybe it's a little marker.
A memorial.
Yeah, because if it is, that could give us a hint.
Yeah.
Oh, I lied. It's just a
just a railroad spike or whatever.
It's a railroad spike.
It's just a railroad spike. The famous Cobb Railroad.
Yes. All right.
Oh, see that little stone thing down there? You think that could be some sort of foundation thing?
I'm nearsighted, even with my glasses on.
I think that might be This
Right
might
there?
be the spot. Yeah.
That big
thing right there. Yeah.
Wanna go down there?
Yeah, sure. Is there a way to weave down from there? Or
I don't know. Would we just tumble down?
yeah, we could just tumble. That would be fun.
You know what? Tuck and roll.
Let the ghost catch us.
Yeah.
Eventually, there's going to be so many podcasts made. There's going to be one in the future where it's just like solely researching podcasters' ghosts.
Oh, yeah.
Who had their own ghost podcast and then passed on, and it's kind of like the circle of life.
Or maybe if I die in an episode, I'll have a mega fan come out.
Oh, yeah.
And just be like, Sara Jones ran a haunted podcast. And finally, one of the haunted locations got her.
Yeah.
She went into the Cobb Estate, but she never left.
Right. This should just be called Got Her, and it's just like you challenge different haunted places to take your life, and you see which one can do it.
Just like the most passively suicidal.
Yeah.
Come get me.
Hey, you idiots.
Hey. Heard you're haunted. I'm not scared
you
of
dumbass.
death. You dumb bitch. We just get dragged. That'd be fucked up if, like, our microphones were just found on our bodies. And they were like, I guess let's sync the audio. Yeah. It was just like Blair Witch style. Like,
right, but much less respectful than the Blair Witch Project.
Well, or much less respectful.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
Yeah, because like, what? I never saw the Blair Witch Project.
What
Were they
the
being?
fuck are you talking about? You've never seen the Blair Witch Project?
Too young.
What are you talking about? Too young? You're not still too young to see.
No.
You can watch movies that are
I'm
old.
too scared, is what I'm saying.
Do you
think this is the thing?
Oh my God, is this it?
This might be it.
This might be the foundation, right?
It looks definitely.
It looks like a foundation of a house, doesn't it?
It does.
Let's do it. Let's sit here.
Here we are.
Great.
Cool.
How old are you right now?
I am 24 years young.
You're 24.
Yeah.
So you're like, I'm far too young.
Far too young.
You have to be at least.
No, I mean like I'm not.
Here, we take this.
I meant that by I'm not allowed to see it because the content is too scary. Oh, okay.
You're still not allowed to see it?
I'm still not allowed to see it.
Your girlfriend is like, honey,
babe, I don't think we can listen. I don't want nightmares.
Hey, bud, what are we doing?
She does call me buddy and pat me on the head a lot.
Hey, bud. This one's a real scary one, okay, guy?
Ooh. Here we are.
All right, listeners. So we found a spot, and it's the foundation of a house. Mm-hmm. It's a big cement structure. How long is this?
I would say that is 50 yards.
50 yards long. It's getting dark. The sun just went down and the moon is out. Mm-hmm. So it's perfect timing. Dan is just old enough to hear this tale.
I sure am. Well, we'll see. I don't know.
It's a risk we're all willing to take. Okay, so we're at the Cobb Estate in the haunted forest. So what I do first, did you realize this forest was haunted?
Well, no,
after we were just walking through it?
No, now that you say it though, I could definitely see that.
Yeah, it's definitely haunted as shit. Plus, that guy's here too.
That was the forest, actually.
That was a tree.
Yeah. Oh.
I'm here.
Right.
I'm bringing up the rear end.
This guy's bringing up the rear end.
Yep.
They're perturbing the ghosts here.
There's runners for listeners.
There's
are
many
like,
runners.
What the fuck is going on? All right, great. So we are looking for the ruins of the Cobb Estate in the haunted forest located in Altadena, California.
Yes, ma'am.
And we think we found it.
I believe we're here.
It's a big foundation. It's really tall, taller than I expected.
Yeah.
I think those are the stone steps or something.
Yeah.
Of the front. Whatever, we're pretty sure we're here. So the gates of the Cobb Estate have been described as looking like something out of a horror movie or even the entrance to hell.
I can see that. I mean, if hell had like a real low budget.
Yeah.
If like hell lost all of its funding. It's hell during the government shutdown.
Yeah, exactly. The depression, the Great Depression of hell.
Yeah.
Which is really...
We had to cut half the whips we have now. It's terrible.
Can you imagine what the Great Depression in hell is like?
It's so bad.
Like comparatively.
It's like a bread line, but just fire.
Yeah. In fact, the gates appeared in the 1979 cult horror film Phantasm.
Oh.
Which I haven't seen.
Me neither.
But I probably have to.
Probably scary.
Are you old enough, do you think, to see Phantasm?
I don't think I'd have to ask my caretakers.
Let's run that by the ball and chain.
Yeah, the ball and chains.
We were suggesting, she's like, absolutely
I would
not.
never, I watch, both of us are non-horror people.
Okay.
Neither of us are big horror fans. Like, she's like a big absorber when it comes to like scary stuff or whatever, and I just don't like it. It's just not my thing, which is very nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, welcome to Laughing in the Dark.
Laughing in the dark.
So you're saying she probably doesn't want to do an episode?
Oh, she definitely would. I think she definitely would do an episode.
Right on.
Just like seeing, Phantasm would probably throw her off.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, great. So we won't do a screening of Phantasm together.
Yeah.
Got it. In 1918, the Cobb Estate was built by a successful lumberer named, there's got to be a better word for lumberer.
Oh, that's terrible.
Isn't that bad?
That sounds like a man who just walks very, uncomfortably.
Professionally
a professional bad walker.
In fact, yeah, he was, Oh, so you've heard of him.
Yeah, I saw that ghost tripping 50 yards away from me.
Oh, so he can't have been a successful lumberer.
No.
No, he was a novice lumberer.
Very unprofessional.
He was a successful lumberer named Charles Cobb and his wife, Carrie. So this estate was built on 107 acres of land. A Spanish-style mansion with imported exotic hardwoods, the landscape around this magnificent home used to be laid out with eucalyptus, palm trees, and lodgepole pines. However, the abundance of woods around the area proved to be destructive, and a forest fire nearly destroyed the home in 1935.
Wow.
Since then, the mansion survived multiple brush fires.
Okay.
It was left to the Freemasons of the Scottish Rite Temple as specified in Cobb's will
Scottish
after he
Riters.
passed.
I'm a big Freemason buff.
Are you
Did you know
really?
that? Yeah.
No.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
So you're perfect for this episode.
I'm a big fan of, I know the history, Hiram Abiff. I understand the Masonic levels. Yeah, I did.
Are you a Freemason?
I am not a Freemason, no, but
Do you have access to any of the Freemason temples? Because they're all fucking haunted.
I am not, the temples are the lodges.
Yeah,
The lodges.
Oh, I didn't know that there was a difference.
I think there are. I think there are Masonic temples, but there's also lodges are just where guys eat pasta in weird hats. But then I think temples are more of the historic, old school, Masonic places. But I could be wrong on that.
Tell me more about the hats.
So I believe that the hats aren't necessarily Freemasons, but those people are Freemason adjacent. I forget the name of them, but that's a different Shiners.
What?
I don't
even know what those are.
I think those are Shiners, but yeah, I mean, it's just sort of an off branch of the Masonic tradition. But yeah, Freemasons are actually they're very mystified and made to be scary. But I'm a big supporter. I think they're okay.
Yeah.
I don't know, a lot of them might have weird histories or whatnot, but all in all, from what I've read and stuff, they just kind of got demonized because they keep a lot of secrets. Yeah.
But what about, I feel like I read in one of the documents that the Freemasons have to sign, it says that, I understand that there's brutal torture that I'll have to undergo, written in detail if I were to tell the secrets. And they're oh, that's metaphorical.
Right. That's whenever I hear someone be oh, this explicit document is just a metaphor, I always kind of go is it? All right,
it's
okay.
It's because if you sign a contract that's hey, I know that I will be dismembered,
right.
and my head will be fed to pigeons if it's literally something like that. I don't remember verbatim what it said.
100%. And they're
do you know what I'm talking about though?
I've heard something along those lines. I know a lot about the occult traditions of Masonry.
Okay.
And there are a lot the ceremonial movement from level to level is there's a ceremonial death that Masons have to go through where they put a noose around their neck and stuff.
What?
And that's pretty well established that there's ritual, like not real dead, but it's like, yeah, that is...
That's weird, though.
That is very weird.
It's weird, though.
And the whole thing about like Friday the 13th, do you know the whole concept behind that? So Friday the 13th is because like the Catholic Church really didn't vibe with Masonry because they said you didn't have to believe in a distinct God. So they killed a bunch of Masons, essentially, in Friday the 13th. I think it might have been...
On Friday the 13th?
Friday the 13th. That's why Friday the 13th is understood as being bad.
Really?
And I hope I'm right on that. But yeah, no, I'm.
No one's gonna hold it against you.
No one. But it might have been the Knights Templar at that point that were killed, but both of them were pretty interconnected, like groups at that point. Yeah. But anyway, you could just completely cut this out if you.
No.
Okay.
I'm leaving it in because even if you're wrong, that's an interesting idea.
Yeah.
And also, by the way, if you're a listener and you're like, that's wrong, first of all, fuck off. Like, tell us what's correct and then we'll fix it.
Right.
But also, this is just meant to be fun.
There you go.
And even my research is like cursory at best. I mean, I do what I can from Eventbrite. But
right. Like, don't insult the people at the Mattress Warehouse website where you got this idea, this information from.
There was a comment that I read on Yelp that's literally been like my source for some of them.
It's fantastic, yeah.
So, just like have fun when you're listening and don't. Nobody likes to know it all, so just...
It's true. No one likes me.
Nobody likes you.
It's true.
So just have fun.
It's true.
If you're old enough to. And anyway, so it was put in Cobb's will that he wanted the mansion to go to the Freemasons of the Scottish Rite Temple. Mm-hmm. For a brief time, the home was used as a retreat by the Sisters of St. Joseph.
Okay.
So Catholic nuns.
Interesting
Interplay
there.
Just said, yeah. And then the estate was later sold to the Marx brothers.
Yeah. Can you name the Marx brothers?
No.
So Gaucho, Harpo, I think it was Chico, and I can't remember the other O.
I only know Gaucho.
Yeah, Gaucho is the famous one because of his mustache. Mm-hmm. Powerful men wear mustaches.
That's true. And before it became public parkland, which is what it is right now.
Yep.
It is now in ruins, owned by the U.S. Forest Service, and is said to be haunted.
Interesting.
The rumors of the hauntings in this mansion began in 1956 when the Marx Brothers took over the home. The Marx Brothers, of course, were a comedy act in the early 1900s, famous on vaudeville, Broadway, and in motion pictures from 1905 to 1949.
Huge stars of their time.
Huge stars, yeah.
Crazy.
If you don't know who they are, Google them and you'll be like, oh yeah, I've seen that face.
It's really nice listening to some of the Marx Brothers stuff because it's so just like set up punchline with no, like, they don't try to like mask it by like making it like, ooh, this is like a real story. It's just jokes. It's kind of relieving to watch the Marx Brothers.
And it's like you can see the evolution of comedy as an entertainment form, you know?
Absolutely.
Kind of fascinating.
Very nice.
When the Marx Brothers owned it, there were new reports of lights and noises that could not be explained coming from the area.
Interesting.
Since the area had basically been overrun by vagrants and the once beautiful mansion had been badly vandalized, the Marx Brothers had this house mostly demolished in 1959. Mm-hmm. All that remains are a few random rock walls, the foundation, which is I think where we're sitting, some exterior stairwells, and the long twisting driveway that ends at the haunted front gates.
Front gates, which we walked up to.
Which we walked up through.
Yeah.
So this is definitely the foundation that we're sitting on.
This
looks
is
like a foundation.
Either the foundation or one of the rock walls, but yeah, I'm guessing foundation.
Yeah. And we're sitting up, I mean, it's like 20 feet high, right?
We're about 15 right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And our feet are just kind of dangling off the end. Mm-hmm. And for some reason, people are like...
Tons of people around, which is cool.
Tons of people are hiking out here.
Yeah.
And it's really dark. Like, I mean, I don't know what time it is. Probably like 8?
Yeah, something like that.
So it's really dark and spooky out here, and it's cool.
It is cool.
For a while, the land just sat here, unused. The city proposed a plan to turn this land into a cemetery, but the idea was met with fierce opposition by the townsfolk.
Interesting.
Nothing, they felt, was worse for property value than a haunted forest with a cemetery built at the heart of it?
Having worked in a cemetery, I would say that they're overall very calm and nice places.
Oh yeah,
I enjoy
think cemeteries are a really peaceful place to be, honestly.
I like a nice cemetery.
You worked at a cemetery though?
First job ever was working in a cemetery. Yep.
What did you do?
I dug graves and I did landscaping.
You were a grave digger.
I was a grave digger. I have dug graves both by backhoe and hand.
Wow.
Yes. Very. Working there, I mean, I never had any like experiences with like supernaturally or whatever. Mm-hmm. But then again, I was so young and I didn't really have a sense for it.
Okay.
But there was one time where a friend of mine was like so I worked with a work program with like a lot of kids who were at risk teens. Oh, and my mom was like a worker in a charity that helped them. Mm-hmm. And she was like, how about you work here for a summer with at-risk teens? Nothing could go wrong.
Right, sure.
This is good for you.
Yeah, so, you'll fit right in.
And one of them at this, we were walking back from like lunch, and he was being very disrespectful to some of like the great, like saying very crude things about some of the plots there and stuff. And as he's turning back to like say something to us, his foot sinks into one of the graves. And it was at such perfect timing when he was like saying extremely disrespectful things like about like what, like, oh, this did whatever, so and so. His foot sinks into one of the graves. The scream that he had, it was insane, and he pulls it out, and then we learn that happens a lot with older coffins because they're made out of wood, so with time they collapse and it makes like a sinkhole that people can fall through. But it was,
but he probably thought like a zombie was pulling him down.
Yeah, I can't help but think that there was some sort of like intervention with that, because it made so much sense.
Because it was so perfect.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
That's like a movie scene, like
it was
level
very
perfect.
good.
Like some bully kid.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Just gets pulled to the underworld. But yeah, it was very. So that's my 2-cent ghost story from graveyard work.
I used to work in the morgue at the teaching hospital.
No way.
Yeah, I used to watch human autopsies and help with brain dissection.
Wow.
And stuff. Yeah, and never had a haunting there.
Okay.
Although there was this one time that me and my boss, we were both like on the same page. We're both from Michigan.
Okay.
So we would joke about having I'm from Detroit, so we'd do the assembly line. Only of all the tasks for the brain dissection.
Right. Is that also a Detroit thing, just being very nonchalant with dismemberments?
Not necessarily. I guess it depends on what part of Detroit you're talking about.
Yeah.
But, well, yeah, so like we had a really good system down. I kind of missed working with them, but we were really quick. So it's like if we had 10 brains to get through, I know. It sounds like a lot of work.
Yeah,
but it would
boy.
Yeah, we could make it go by pretty quick. So anyway, one time we're sitting there dissecting, and I would write notes for him, like on the atrophy of the brain and you know, all of that.
Right, on the cadaver itself, you would write notes like,
No,
hey,
not on the cadaver. This is just the preserved
thinking about
brain.
you. Right.
So after the brain has been preserved, they're kept in like a Tupperware, basically.
Okay. Oh yeah. Okay.
In preservative, and then we would go to dissect them after they've been in preservative for about 10 days.
Gotcha.
And then we would weigh. So when the brain was taken right out of the head, there's a fresh weight, and then there's a preserved weight. And then he would also note how big the ventricles are, because like if you have, now this is neuroscience, this is probably boring.
I'm in.
I used to be pre-medicine. I wanted to do neurology. So this
Very
is
cool.
my shit. But when the ventricles are really big, that means that like the brain had started to shrink, so that it's signs of Alzheimer's.
Oh, okay.
So we would make notes on like whatever. So I would be taking notes or whatever. And one time we're in there, and we were just talking, like, whatever, doing our thing. And we both, like, I heard a voice, and then I was like, maybe that's nothing, I don't know. And then Randy stops talking, and he looks at me, he goes, did you hear that? Did you hear a voice? And I was like, yeah, like a girl's voice. And he was like, yeah, I just heard that. So I was like, oh my God. I was like, I'm so excited. And Randy was like, stop. Because I would always be like, I hope we have a haunting someday.
Yeah, right.
So he was like, it's nothing. But then we started talking more, because the autopsy assistant, the one who like did all the autopsies, she wasn't supposed to be working that day. Mm-hmm. So I was like, is Amanda supposed to be working today? And he was like, no, she's not. And I was like, that's what I thought. And then he's like, will you go out there and just see if someone's there and just maybe they're lost or something? And I was like, okay. So I went out there. Nobody was out there, nothing. So I was like, well, it must have been whoever it was. They probably figured it out and left.
Yeah.
So we went back to doing our thing, and then we heard it again.
Crazy.
And this time, both of us, like, Randy takes his gloves off, and he's like, let's go check this out. And I was like, yes!
Yeah,
like, I'm so excited.
Game time, baby.
We go out, nobody's there. And Randy looks at me, and he goes, should I check the cooler? Where there's literally a body laying on a gurney. Like a dead body in there. He's like,
woman or male or female?
I don't know.
Okay.
But he's like, should I look in there? And I was like, you gotta, dude.
Yeah.
And I'm just like beside myself. And he's laughing at me for being so excited.
Yeah, yeah.
We opened the cooler. Nobody, like, nothing.
Wow.
And then we found out, this is the bummer part. These new volunteers that had just started, they were looking for us. And someone told them to go in that room. And so they had opened the door, said something, and left twice. And we just didn't catch them in time.
Damn it.
So it was a real bummer, and I was really bummed out. It wasn't a real haunting, which Randy found hysterical.
Yeah.
That he's like,
I'd be bummed too. You got no mystery left in you if you're not upset about that.
Exactly right. I know. I was so ecstatic. It was so much fun.
I'd be happy too. Yeah.
That was. And then when I told him I'm going to stop working there and start doing a podcast about ghosts, he was like, of course you are.
Yeah.
So guess what he listens to while he dissects brains?
Oh, nice.
Yes.
Have fun with that cerebellum.
Yeah. Hi, Randy.
Hey, Rand.
Great. Miss you guys. Anyway, where were we? Okay, yeah. So they didn't want to turn this into a cemetery because they thought their property values would go down significantly. So finally, the Marx brothers put this land up for auction, and the city purchased the land.
Cool.
And now it remains a great hiking spot, which it really is.
Truly
and there's been a ton of people running around and using it, so that's great. When one researches Cobb Estate, one of the first stories that comes up is that of a Crystal Calhoun.
Okay.
I don't know if I'm saying that right. Calhoun.
Even if you're not, I want it to be Crystal Calhoun.
Crystal Calhoun. Doesn't that like sound right?
That sounds perfect.
So she is the most popular poltergeist allegedly spotted here.
Okay.
Crystal Calhoun was reportedly known as the Wicked Witch of the West by locals.
Oh, wow. Hey, these locals, get more creative, huh? Hey, these locals, take a writing class, huh?
I know.
The Wicked Witch of the West?
Came up all by themselves.
Oh, God.
All by themselves. She's also called the Witch of Cobb Mountain, which is probably a little better.
Even though it's just the witch plus the place that she's in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
God
Well,
damn.
what would you call her?
I would call her, give me a second, Christy the Ghost.
Absolutely kill. See, this is what writing classes will do.
That's why you take 5 years of stand-up, people.
See, wait, you took stand-up as like a class?
No.
I was like,
no, I learned on the streets, baby.
Yeah, that's the only way to learn how to do stand-up.
Yeah.
I took a stand-up at ACLU.
What about Misty Christie? Because ghosts are kind of misty when you think about it.
Misty Christie.
Misty Christie.
Okay, that I can accept. I'll take that. Misty Christie haunts this area along with her small dog, allegedly.
Okay. Yeah.
Some see her, this is really weird.
Nice.
Some see her vacuuming feverishly in random locations.
Oh, come on. Even in the afterlife, there's gender roles. That sucks.
Who said she's vacuuming because she's a woman?
I don't know, because back in the day, that was expected. I feel like she should be free of that. You shouldn't have to vacuum in the afterlife.
But she's a bitch. Why would they call her a witch?
I don't know.
Okay, so the most curious thing about Crystal Calhoun is that there are multiple sources that list her by her full name, talk about her wicked nickname, and even multiple reports about her intense vacuuming, which to me just cracks me up.
Intense vacuuming.
It was feverish is the word that they used. I used intense to, put my own little spin on it, I guess.
So she's just like, what does that mean? Just like really quick rotations with your hand?
Yeah, I guess quickly, maybe like hurriedly.
God, that sucks.
So maybe she had like OCD or something.
That could be it. If you had ghost CD.
Hey,
there we go. Now we're warming up.
Yeah, now we're cooking with gas. All right, so, but I can't find anything about who she was in real life.
Yeah.
What connection she had to the Cobb Estate, or even why she'd obtained such a nasty reputation by the townspeople. Even though multiple sources call her Crystal Calhoun, like full name.
Crystal Calhoun, and call her a witch.
And call her the Wicked Witch of the West.
Wicked Witch of the West.
Which is just a little creative spin.
Yeah, right.
They came up with.
Oh my God.
Just a little something they cooked up on their own.
You know what? I gotta say, I'm on her side.
Yeah.
I'm 100% on her side. They didn't.
You gotta
They
clean
tried
up.
roasting my girl. They didn't come through with any heavy hits.
No.
She's just trying to stay clean. She's being
trying to clean
helpful.
up. She's got her and her little dog too.
It's so crazy to call her like a witch, and then all you have on her is that she vacuums a lot. That sounds like a really good mom.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. But then when you picture like a mom feverishly vacuuming.
Oh, I've seen
it. I think about like those moms that are like in movies that like they're on like, you know, they're smoking a cigarette and they're feverishly like vacuuming and they're all like yelling.
Yeah,
they got like curlers in their hair.
Right, they're wearing a big pink bathrobe with like doilies on it.
Yep, and they've got the like slippers on that match.
Right, yeah, that is what I picture too.
Yeah,
I picture that as well.
Yelling.
Yeah,
they're also
screaming.
on the phone, like the phone cord is coming out of the wall, smoking a cigarette.
One of their kids is holding the phone body in their hand.
She's holding a baby.
Yeah, breastfeeding.
And vacuuming feverishly. So I think that's our Misty Christie. I think we have
Misty
really...
Christie.
I think we've given her life.
I like her. You know what? Ghosts 1, townspeople 0 at this point for me, if you ask me.
Definitely. Yeah, she just works hard.
She just works hard.
She's got her hands full, literally and figuratively.
Yeah, I like her.
Yeah. Those who encounter the witch of Cobb Mountain say that they later find that they are missing something shiny. So it seems as though she's a bit of a thief as well.
Man, she just take that off your hands, though. You know what I mean? Like, she deserves nice things. She works all day.
No shit.
Yeah.
No shit. I'm starting to feel defensive about Misty Christie, honestly.
I like her. She knows what she wants.
Walking this trail in the dark have reported hearing screams coming from the forest.
Okay.
And disembodied footsteps close behind them.
Okay.
They have also seen what has been described as eerie lights in the distance, which have been described here since the Marx Brothers have been here.
Interesting.
Yeah,
Not
so keep
seeing
your
any.
eyes peeled for something that looks like this, but isn't my flashlight.
Some lights or some screams or whatever.
And some screams.
Huh.
What?
Nothing.
Oh, I thought you saw something.
No, I won't. Listen. If I hear vacuuming, I'll let you know.
Oh, that'd be crazy.
That'd be sweet.
That would be really awesome. Feverish.
Just feverish vacuuming.
We're just like, it is kind of feverish.
Yeah.
We're like, hey, easy, Misty.
Hey, girl.
It's clean, dude.
Calm down, bro. You call her dude.
Clean.
That's so disrespectful.
Clean the bag if you want it to. It's not going to pick up that penny, Christy.
Yeah.
You got to bend down.
Oh my God. What are you? What are you? Some debauched mansion owner talking to a maid?
I don't know.
Hey, you got to bend over there.
That's not how I meant it. I meant like, you know, when you're vacuuming and then you come across like coins, you're like, shit, I have to actually get down and pick that up.
I gotta stand by not sexualizing ghosts. That's my hill. That's my hill to die on.
Oh my God, this is so.
Hey, Christy, I'm on your side, girl.
This is. You know what though? That's not meant to be sexual
Fair
at
enough.
all.
I understand.
Like
I understand. I'm just nitpicking.
It's really pretty hearing the water over there.
It is nice.
I keep waiting to hear this. Okay. It's rumored that the spirit of Mr. Cobb, the man who once owned this land and built this mansion, doesn't like it when people stand or sit on the steps where his home once stood.
Okay, well, these aren't steps, so we're good.
We're good. As mentioned previously, the house for a while became a spiritual retreat for nuns. Mm-hmm. It's rumored that one of the nuns was raped and hanged in the forest.
Jesus.
Yeah. Some believe that there are demonic forces in these woods.
Okay.
Either resulting or maybe
The cause.
that encouraged. Yeah.
That encouraged the death of that nun. That's a bummer.
Human remains have been found in these woods at least twice.
Okay. You know what? As far as woods go, that's kind of par for the course.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Woods are bad when it comes to dismembered bodies.
Although I did a park last night, and they have never found body parts in that park, and I was really shocked.
Yeah, you know what that is? That is a soft park, we call it, in my neck of the woods.
That's Deep Forest Park in Long Beach.
Yeah, you know what? Deep Forest Park, how about you get some, how about you get a backbone? Yeah, let's grow
Literally get a backbone.
Get a backbone, dude.
Buried in the park.
Yeah. Stick your chest out and then, find one there.
That's right. Okay, yeah, I agree. Fucking Deep Forest.
Yeah.
That was a really good episode. Thanks, Kyle.
Thank you, Kyle.
For doing that episode with me.
Thank you, Kyle.
I did that one with Kyle Plouffe. Do you know him?
No.
Great.
Great name.
I can introduce you to some comedians out here in Los Angeles.
I love that.
Okay, great.
If we leave this forest alive.
Yeah, if we ever make it out. Okay, so human remains have been found in these woods at least twice. In 2010, human bones were found by 2 hikers in these woods.
Whoa.
It had been likely that the remains had been here for about 2 or 3 months, judging by the decay. Mm-hmm. Officials thought there was no sign of foul play and suspected that it may clear up a missing person case. So I guess that's good.
Yeah, I guess that is good. It's a weird take, but okay.
Well, there's no foul play, which is kind of hard to. If they're just bones.
That sounds like a lazy police officer to me.
Well, I think also in bones you can see if there was carving into it, if some. I have no idea. Or if someone was shot, maybe you would see parts of the bone. Would be
some bullets in there, right? What about if someone's vacuumed to death? You think you can tell that?
No signs of foul play.
No signs of.
If someone is feverishly vacuumed to death.
Yeah.
There's no way to tell.
No way to tell. That's the perfect crime, if you ask me.
Perfect crime.
It's the perfect crime.
So Misty's onto something. As recently as 2017, what appeared to be human leg bones and bits of clothing were found here.
Ooh.
It was believed that these remains had been here for several years.
Whoa.
They didn't explain exactly where the bones were found, just that they were found in a popular hiking area of the Angeles National Forest, but in a spot that is, quote, not easily reached, unquote, which I would imagine is probably up on a steep part of the hill.
One of those ledges up there, yeah.
Because it was a little kind of dangerous up there.
For sure.
How steep it was. Quick side note that I made while I was typing out my notes here. Mm-hmm. I said I just want to mention that in this article, they say that authorities took their cadaver dog with them to investigate, and the dog's name was Indiana Bones.
Whoa.
Stop.
Again, okay, so this is officially the least creative town in the whole wide world.
But I love Indiana Bones.
Indiana Bones isn't bad, but I've heard
of Indiana Bones.
I've heard of other dogs named Indiana Bones.
Were they cadaver
dogs? They ripped
dogs?
it. I don't know if it was a cadaver dog.
Because that's perfect. They're meant to find bones.
Listen, I'm being judgmental just because these people were at my girl Christy, but yeah, it's not bad. It's pretty good.
I thought it was pretty amazing.
It's pretty good.
Indiana Bones, if you're listening.
If you're listening to this podcast, you brave dog. What a horrible job for a dog.
Good dog.
What a
you're
good
a good
boy.
Dog.
He's
you're
a good boy.
If you're listening, Indiana
you're
Bones.
You're overworked and underpaid.
You are good. I hope they're feeding you enough Scooby snacks.
I hope so.
Because you're a good boy.
Good boy.
A psychic visiting this mansion claims to have seen a vision of a clown face here, but gives no explanation to why this or what this could mean. Besides, it's just a creepy idea.
Yeah.
Which is
sounds
all
like a psychic going rogue to me.
I see a clown.
That's just
which I know is weird for a psychic to
that's
go
just a
rogue.
fucking hungover psychic. It's a fucking clown fit. Can you give me the money?
Oh, is it a clown? Or actually, it's one of those things that psychics are always trying to dig for. There's a T in the name.
Yeah, yeah.
They're is it a clown face?
I love the idea of it. Because psychics will try. They call that shotgunning, where a psychic will just give a bunch of different things, and you'll latch onto one that's actually true. And then your brain is oh, this person's good. I love the idea of a psychic that just says one thing and sticks to it and doesn't care about your feedback.
Oh my God, wait, I forget where, oh my God, was this from a class or something? I watched this thing, I don't remember if it was from a documentary on Netflix or something I watched for a class. There was something I watched recently, and it was just about that. It was about psychics that just try to, like, latch on to, like, they're like,
Right.
There's a T in the name. And there's this guy who, and it was like, he like argued with the person.
That's awesome. I love that.
Something about like her grandma was a bitch or something.
Yeah, and she's like, no, he was, listen to me.
And he was like, sorry, she was a bitch. That's what I'm hearing. Or your grandma thought your mom was a bitch or something.
Oh, that's so
like that.
good.
Shit, where was that in? Does that sound familiar to you at all?
No, it doesn't, but it sounds great.
Where was I most recently watching a thing on psychics?
That's excellent.
I'm trying to think. I'm in 2 classes right now. I'm a psych major, so I'm finishing my degree in psychology.
Right.
So maybe it was in my learning class that I had to watch something, or I don't think it was in my forensic psych class.
That's so, yeah. Because the whole thing, like those people, and also like in any discipline where it's almost based on intuition. I work at a meditation center right now. I'm open to all that stuff.
Yeah.
But boy, do those people get leeway from the people who follow them.
Oh, they really do, and they really take advantage of people.
Yeah.
I feel like I don't remember. Because I watch a lot of documentaries, so sometimes I get them confused with like what I had to watch for school.
Yeah.
But I wish I could remember what it was that I saw so I could reference it and be like, this is what I was watching.
Yeah.
Or maybe I just like went down a hole on the internet.
Yeah.
But it was so funny. This guy just standing by it, like just being like, sorry, your grandma's communicating with me. She says that she had issues with your mom. And the girl's like, no, they were very close. And he's like, I'm sorry, that's what
I'm sorry,
doing.
that's just, I'm not backing down, okay?
I think he literally said, like, sorry, your grandma says your mom was a bitch or something.
That's so good. Just gossiping.
Really, just fucking gossiping. And he's just like, I'm sorry. Like, just, oh my God, it was so good. I wish I know I'm going to get home and be like, if I remember it, I'll message it to you. I'll be like, oh my God, it was this.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. There have also been reports of the smell of rotten flesh here.
Okay.
This could either be due to the satanic rituals, which sometimes include killing animals.
Okay.
That happen in here, or a more sinister explanation has been suggested that a demon likes to use repulsive scents to terrify the living.
Yeah, I don't think that's more sinister than killing animals.
Oh, I thought those were my words. I thought the actual presence of a demon. Yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah.
No, you're right.
Just a demon going like, ooh, that's fine. If you kill a hamster on my watch, that's
I guess
I'm not cool with that.
I guess I thought the scarier idea, is of a demon being here trying to like get into your head. But yeah, no, fair point. Fair point.
Rattle around in there, buddy. Come on, I'm fine.
But we were just talking about smells.
Yeah, we were.
What if we smell rotten flesh?
I don't know what that smells like, and I don't know why the person who wrote this knows what that smells like.
I only know what preserved flesh smells
How scary would it be if you're hiking in a group and like there's a weird smell and everybody's like, what's that smell? And one person in the group's like, oh, it's rotting flesh. Hey, listen, guys, we got to get out of here.
Yeah, it's like, what's scarier, actually finding the rotten flesh?
No, it's the guy.
Or the person who recognizes
I'll tell
that
you,
smell?
it's that dude. That guy is,
it's like, I know that smell anywhere.
It's like, we're going to keep hyping towards that smell and away from you.
That scared me. Mm-hmm. There's a hiker that came up, and I was scared. Oh, it's okay.
I don't know.
You're fine. And I pointed my flashlight directly at his face.
You've been doing that.
I felt bad. But I was like, I heard something.
Yeah.
And I went to flash my lights, and then I blinded the sweet old man. He was just going
wasn't
on a
that
hike.
old. He was of a moderate age.
Moderate?
He was of a moderate age.
Yeah, probably like mid-50s.
Mid-50s.
Yeah, it was probably like Kevin Nealon.
Big life ahead of him. It was Kevin Nealon. The ghost of Kevin Nealon haunts this place preemptively.
All right, so many visitors to the forest report hearing distant screams, laughter, and strange lights when they visit here.
Cool.
It's certainly common for people to say that they have the feeling as though they are being followed through the forest. One account described the strange lights as 3 blue orbs that bounced around, then seemed as though they recognized him and even began coming toward him. Oh. There have been plenty of reports of satanic cult rituals being held here, gang murders, and KKK gatherings.
Wow.
There have even been a few Sasquatch sightings recorded here and...
Okay, well now these waters are getting a little diluted, huh?
I know. Claims of UFO sightings in this area. This haunted forest has it all.
Wow.
Yeah.
A real mixed bag. It's the Walmart of hauntings.
Yeah, I mean, and for a good price.
Not bad.
You can get everything here.
Get a little bit of everything.
Get a little bit of everything.
The UFO, the KKK, whatever scares you, it's here.
Exactly, yeah, pretty much, exactly.
Right.
So, what do you think?
I mean, I definitely feel like this place is like, it's cool. It has a certain kind of power to it. Mm-hmm. I think that the fact that there was like a previous structure here and it burned down, and that it was like a host to a lot of different sort of ideologies in its time, like both the Masons and the nuns
yeah.
and the Marx Brothers. Like that's a big sort of, a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, lots of different kinds of energies here.
But yeah, it's very cool. How about you? What do you think about this place?
Well, I think these trees are really creepy.
They are kind of creepy.
In a good way.
Yeah.
I think it's a really, really cool spot. I think it's really pretty. And
would definitely recommend this place.
As a hike even. Just the view at the top
very cool.
Gorgeous.
Very cool.
And it's a good hike, steep, but not impossible.
Yeah.
Yeah. I would recommend checking this place out, but I really hope we hear some feverish vacuuming. That would be really awesome.
Or see it. I would really like that.
Yeah, because anytime you see someone out here vacuuming, you know it's a ghost. It's not just the, you know how like, oh, she's just vacuuming.
Yeah.
They're just trying to keep this place nice.
You know, I saw someone walking through while I was waiting here with like a big bag and he was picking up garbage. And I was like, that's the first time in LA I've seen someone trying to like take garbage away from a place.
Really?
Usually people are just like putting garbage at, like they're contributing to the garbage and they're not
I thought littering was like illegal here.
I'm sure it is, but like that doesn't stop people.
Anyway.
Yeah.
Well, do you want to walk around? We can
Sure.
probably head back. I still want to hear your ghost stories.
Oh, I have a crazy one.
Okay.
I have a pretty so they have to do with like I said, this year for me. So it's not necessarily a ghost story, and it is a little sad, but it's in a place where like I'm able to talk about it because it was so kind of out of the ordinary. My dad passed away about like 8 months ago.
Oh, I'm so sorry. My dad died a year and a half ago.
Oh, wow.
By the way, so
yeah,
don't
we're
worry. You're
same
in good
team.
company.
We're in
Dead Dad Club.
Dead Dad Club,
Boom.
DDC. So the night before, I'm at this open mic in the valley, and so I'm at this open mic in the valley, and I'm with a friend, and he has this friend who's like this girl who she's wearing like a kind of a shawl kind of thing, like very out of the ordinary looking. And she was talking about like spirits and clairvoyance and ghosts and like all that, and she was clearly very into it, and she was talking to it with like such a profound sense of like conviction. I really felt
it was
like
magnetizing.
Very magnetizing. Yeah, she was very like she really like kind of roped me in when she was talking about it, and when she stopped, I was like, yeah, I've always felt like, I'm not that whatever spiritual or whatever, but I've always felt like there was kind of like a black dog following me. And a black dog is like a...
Serious?
No, not literally, but a black dog is like the idea that there's like something following you that's like not that great, or like something that's bad that's following you, like kind of a bad spirit.
Like a bad omen kind of
a
deal.
omen, okay, yeah, that's the way to put it. So she takes the seat next to me.
This is like, at the open mic?
This is at the open mic. So we're like in the back talking. We can hear each other. So she like looks at me, like stares at me, and then she comes and sits next to me like really fast and like looks me in the face. And she's like, what do you mean by that? And I just told her like, yeah, I feel like there's always been this bad spirit. And she's like, here. And she opens her bag and she gets holy water out of it. And without even like asking, she's like, this is holy water. I'm going to put some on you. And I was like, okay. And she like puts some on me, and then she like hands me the rest of it, and she's like, you have like, drink this.
What?
And then I drink it, and she like looks at me and she's like, I think you do have a black dog following you. Here, take this. And she gives me a wooden cross. And like the open mic runs, I leave, I go back to my house, I wake up that morning and I get a call from my mom that night, like the next night, and she like told me my dad had passed away.
Surprisingly, or?
I don't know, yeah. He had like heart problems, but it was completely unexpected.
He had like a heart attack.
Heart attack, yeah. And I asked her immediately like what time, and she gave me the time, and it was like something like 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern time, because he was in Cape Cod. And so I went back.
Like 7 p.m. here.
And I thought, and like I looked back at the time that I was there. It was within the hour that I had drinking the holy water.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's almost like the opposite of what she was trying to do. Like she could have probably a coincidence, but like maybe she cursed you.
That's like the bad way to look at it. The way I looked at it was like if there was something really like bad that was going on, it might have just protected me or what. I mean, like you tell your own story, but
sure. And like you can't ever know, but that is a really weird coincidence.
And I have one more related to that.
I'm not stopping you. I'm just taking a picture.
Good.
You're like, I'm not done. I gotta go, buddy.
No, I understand. Listen, it's your show.
No, I'm fascinated. I just want to take pictures for the website. But yeah, okay.
So,
that is crazy, though.
Yeah, so my girlfriend and I, like, later on, we were going on a trip to move her stuff from where she lives to Los Angeles, which was Minneapolis, so it was a very long sort of trip. And, I should preface this by saying when my dad died, there was a letter that he sent me in the mail.
Oh.
So he sent it to me, and then he passed away, and then I received it, like within that. So this one is wild.
Was so hard to read.
Yeah. My mom was on the phone, so it was a little bit easier. But,
good.
So
you want to sit over there?
Yeah. So me and my now girlfriend, we go on this road trip, and really beautiful road trip. One of the most positive experiences of like my life, seeing that part of the country. And we get home, and I'm unpacking a bunch of stuff from my old apartment because I moved into her place, and in the stuff I unpacked was a letter from my dad. And so like I'm just going through it, and she sees it. You just hadn't
opened it yet, kind of deal?
I had opened it and I had read it and stuff, but I just saved it.
Of course.
So I have all my stuff, and she takes it and she's like, "This is from like North Dakota," and I didn't even like read the front of it really. And she was like, "This is from North Dakota," and she turns around, I forget the name of the town, but it's a very specific town in North Dakota. My dad had never been there, but the letter is like the kind of letter you would find in a trading post or something in North Dakota. Like it was clearly like it had the address and stuff there. It was from North Dakota, and I was like, "That's where." And she was like, "We drove through North Dakota on the road trip." And I was like, "No," and nor was it planned. Like I was just moving her stuff from Minneapolis to here. I was not planning on doing that at all.
Yeah.
So we look on the computer and we look up the town that the letter was from in North Dakota. We drove through it.
Weird.
We had driven through the town that my dad inexplicably like sent this letter from this town.
But he had never been there?
Never been there. He had never been there. There was no reason for him to have been there. He'd been in Cape Cod for the last, 30 years of his life. It was like a new letter.
Weird.
Very, very strange. Yeah, so those are the experiences.
What was the letter about?
Just like, it was just like a random sort of like, "I love you."
Oh
like
my
it was
God.
like handwritten, like cursive, like just, "I love you. Like I'm so glad that you made this trip out to California. I hope things start going well."
And it's like he couldn't have just emailed you or called you. He could have. You know what I mean? But is it out of character for him to send a letter like that?
It was the first one he ever sent me since I was in California.
See, isn't that weird?
Trust me. Yeah, I've been over this a ton with people. It's like the chances
is really
of that.
Cool.
So those are the sort of things that sort of opened me up to the idea of
totally.
Yeah,
that's so. When I started this show was after my dad died. So, like I said, I was a pre-medicine student, and my dad committed suicide.
Oh wow!
So,
I'm so sorry.
It was the same thing. It was a sudden, shocking death.
Yeah, those are the ones that get you.
But I will say, I didn't get a letter from him like that. Yeah. But I did get. He had just moved into this house within 8 months. He had just married this woman, moved into this new house. And he had a file in his little office, in his little desk. He had a file that had each of his kids' names, me, my sister, and my brother. Mm-hmm. And the one that had my name on it had two things in it. And one of them was, we were trying to figure out, like, it's like when I turned 22 or 24 or something, I lost your parents' health insurance, like with Obamacare.
Yeah.
So I forget when, or maybe that's 26.
I think it's 26. That's
I think it was when thinking of like timeline, whatever. So I had gone to the dentist like right before my birthday. Mm-hmm. So then there was all this weird like insurance shit we were trying to figure out. So that form was in there, not as exciting. Mm-hmm. And the other thing that was in there was an email that I sent my dad in 2008.
Wow.
This was in 2017 he died.
Okay.
So he had printed it off again and kept it in this file, like it was freshly printed off. And it was an email I sent my dad that explained like how much I loved him and appreciated him and all this stuff. Oh. And so I definitely was like bawling reading through it, right? Yeah. But it was one of those things that you're like, wow, he saved this for a decade and he printed it off again and put it in this file just to remember how much, and it was one of those, like, he knew how I felt about him. Like, I didn't have to have, and maybe in a way it was him being like, hey, don't worry, we're cool.
Yeah.
Although I have had him visit in dreams. Have you had that?
It's funny. I've had it, like, vaguely a couple of times, but people around me have had it.
Oh,
like,
really?
they've been like, your dad was in my dream, and they'll tell me stuff that, like, he told them to tell me.
Oh, weird.
Yeah, very interesting.
Yeah, because I've had the ones with my dad, I've had multiple dreams with my dad in them, but in my mind, I think I can distinguish what's a real dream, or like what's just a dream and what's like real.
What like he's actually contacting you with.
Exactly.
Well, there's such an interesting, and I mean, this is kind of a broad idea, but my whole way of going around like spirituality and like, you know, afterlife stuff is, I feel like in the same way our like bodies are geared to adapt to certain climates as like people, and our like, you know, the part of our brain that deals with language is meant to develop language at a like very specific way. I think there's a part of our brain that we're not as in tune with that's designed for like making meaning out of things, and it's designed for finding like, you know, those sorts of things that make you go like, wow, like that's incredible. And I think that our brains are naturally predisposed to going and looking for those sort of thing to derive meaning out of a seemingly chaotic world.
Make patterns.
Yeah,
exactly. That's like, I was almost, you were nearing towards this one neuromyth that I want to just cover really quick while we're talking about it. I thought you were going to push that whole, we only use 10% of our brains.
Oh, I would never. No, I'm completely aware that that's total bullshit. And that's what, like, you know, youth pastors say to, you know, football teams that aren't going to do it.
Can you imagine if we used the other 90%? Like,
yeah.
That's, for those that don't know, you use almost 100% of your brain almost 100% of the time.
Yeah. And the parts of your brain that you're not using are just like meant for other time. It's not like you're underutilizing your potential.
Right.
It's just like, it's like when you're using your kitchen and it's like you're not using 100% of your house. It's like, yeah, but you're cooking. Like you're not trying to do something else.
Right. Exactly. Or I mean, like you're using all different parts of your brain. Like right now to see, you're using the occipital lobe, and to speak and to process what we're both saying, you're using your frontal lobe.
Right.
We're able to balance because of, you know, our inner ear and different, there's all kinds of shit going on that is more than 10%. But
yeah, listen up, kids. This is all you got.
This is what you get.
This is all you have.
Yeah, there's nothing left.
Limitless is not gonna make the pill. You're stuck with it.
It's still gonna, it sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks from here.
You're this dumb. I'm sorry.
You're this dumb. But you can strengthen neuronal connections.
There you go.
So the more that you focus on something, the more it'll be accessible to you, because your brain is plastic.
There you go.
That's neuroplasticity. So I mean, if I can talk about ghosts for an hour, I can also throw in a little bit of neuroscience.
A little bit in there.
Let's just
sprinkle it on.
Why not? Hey, so you can say that you actually learned something from this podcast. Because normally when people say they listen to a podcast, they feel smart.
Right.
But for mine, I'm like, we just talk shit about ghosts.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know.
It's a kind of intelligence.
It is. It's like whenever I tell someone I have a podcast, they're like, really? And so what do you talk about? And I'm like, ghosts.
Ghosts? What do you want me to talk about?
Let's talk about ghosts. They're like, oh, bummer.
Ooh.
That's a real shame. And I'm like, yeah, thank you.
If you're not interested by that subject, I think you're missing out.
I think so too.
I think you're missing
out. I am fascinated in the unknown. And I think that just as ignorant as it is to fully believe everything you see, like, I don't like ghost hunting shows. I don't like it that they have to basically like fake something just to sell their product.
Yeah.
That's not my bag. I'm not into faking anything at all, especially because I have a reverence for the unknown. Like,
me too.
I want to know where my dad is, just like I'm sure you want to know where your dad is.
Yeah.
And these little connections that you have, like maybe he did send you a letter from the afterlife. How fascinating.
I like the idea of some sort of like a collective unconscious or like depth psychology. Like, I like those ideas, but I don't stick to them completely because it's like, yeah, it could be anything.
My favorite quote is from Plato or Socrates, and it's, the wisest man knows that he knows nothing.
Right.
And I think that that is the smartest way to go about anything. Yeah. Even if you are, like, the thing I find the funniest when I talk about the paranormal is when people say, well, I believe in science. I'm like a science-minded person.
Yeah.
And you say, what's funny about that is that science is never 100% sure about anything. And to be a good scientist, you have to be a creative thinker, but because you have to think about different ways to explore a question.
Also, a lot of people who use that, like, they're atheists, like they believe in science, they don't believe in religion. Most of them don't know a lot about science. Like,
most of them don't know shit about science. That's the thing.
They're just a person who doesn't like to read.
Exactly.
Yeah, they just hate books.
And not only not read, but also look superior to the other people they're talking to. So
yeah,
it's like that lethal mix of, because the thing is, as someone who is a science-minded and someone who's worked in labs, I still work in a lab, technically, I draw blood.
Right.
So, but as someone who works in science and it is scientifically minded, you have to know the amazing thing about science, especially neuroscience to me, is the wonder of the unknown. That's what makes science so fascinating.
Right.
Is that people are trying to explore a question that we don't know what causes Alzheimer's.
Right, right.
You know, you think these are like already answers to questions. They're not. And you have to be creative. You have to be able to think about, like, wait, this is random, but why don't we try looking at this?
Right.
That's what science is.
And for me, as a smug person, I can say it is a very dead-end road to be on. And it is important to, like, quell those thoughts of, like, well, I know what this is. You know? Yeah. I do. Because those people are just so not fun to hang out with.
Totally.
They're awful. They're awful. Any sort of, like, fundamentalist is so, like, stupid. Like, it's so hard to hang out with those sorts of people.
It is.
Me being one of those, I can attest to that. I'm at my worst.
No one likes me.
Right. I am completely at my worst when people, when I think I have something figured out and I'm trying to convince someone of it.
Oh my God.
That's where I'm at my absolute ground zero.
The worst is when you are so convicted about something that you're almost like upset, like you're, and then you're wrong.
Yeah. Oh God,
you're just like,
I've been there.
I am such an asshole.
100%. Yeah.
Well, at least you could admit to it. You know what I mean? Like there are some people that, just like the psychic who's like, no, your grandma thinks your mom's a bitch.
Yeah, right.
Like, that will just stand by whatever they said.
Yeah.
Whether it's logical or not. That makes me insane.
Me too. And that's why I think this podcast is very good. I think this is a very good concept for a podcast.
Thank you.
It's very well executed.
Thank you very, very much.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm so glad that you could be here.
They're very
Thanks
fun.
for exploring the haunted forest with me.
Thank you for having me.
Sorry we didn't hear any feverish
I know.
vacuuming,
I'll be listening for it though.
Yeah. Thanks so much for joining Dan and I while we explored the Cobb Estate. Be sure to check out Dan on social media. You can find him on Instagram at Dan Donahue. That's at DANDONAHUE_. Or find him on Twitter at DanDonahue40. Dan would like to encourage you listeners to check out String Theory Jewelry, a company that makes custom jewelry from guitar strings. If you're interested, find us on Instagram too at Lit Dark Podcast, or check out our website at litdarkpodcast.com. Special thanks for this episode goes to my producer, Randall Lawrence, and Cranival Studios, Jonathan Cooper, my graphic designer, Sarah Schneider, my manager, and of course, all of you for listening.
Sources used for Episode 3 of Laughing in the Dark include hauntedplaces.org, Haunted History, a Facebook page, eventbrite.com, the Los Angeles Times, Atlas Obscura, thenativelaTourist.com, paranormalexp.com, a blog called Haunted Los Angeles, IamNotAstalker.com, the Pasadena Star News, and KTLA.com.
Laughing in the Dark is brought to you in part by Heck Yeah Studio. Heck Yeah Studio is a creative effort working with people to create meaningful things. At Heck Yeah Studio, they work with clients to turn their ideas or existing brands into real or better versions. Heck Yeah Studio is the place to go for custom illustration for a full range of branding services, like killer logos, great colors and typography, and fun illustrations for pins, signs, prints, shirts, vehicles, posters, or anything you can imagine. At Heck Yeah Studio, they work with love. Their dream client is someone who is passionate about what they do. At Laughing in the Dark, Heck Yeah Studio has designed our logo, all of our merch, and any posters or stickers that we have. I am so proud and lucky to work with such an awesome company, and I could not recommend them higher.